Once was a kid named Pony Boy. There are lots of things that he enjoys. Books and movies and cigarettes too. There's always lots of trouble he gets into. Him and his brothers are in a gang. This book is from the 60s, so it's got slang. Greasers is the group that they are in. They get into fights, but don't always win. You've got Derry, Johnny, Soda Pop, and Dally, 2-Bit Steve, and Pony Boy.
They grew up together and are just like brothers. Stick up for one another and fight with each other. They all have greasy hair and are really tough. When they get in a fight, they are rough. They act like family, they undergo tragedy, they all act scrappily, they live unhappily. Sisters is a gang they're not fond of. They are a gang that think they're above. There was a time they beat up Johnny. By the end of it, he looked really bloody. They grew up together and are just like brothers. Stick up for one another and fight with each other. They all have greasy hair and are really tough. When they get in a fight, they are rough. They act like family, they undergo tragedy, they all act scrappily, they live unhappily.
Pony goes to the movies with Johnny, while Dally comes along and acts real snotty. They meet 2 chicks named Marsha and Cherry. They look at Dally and are feeling very wary. There are associates who come in a Mustang. They want to beat up the Greaser gang. The girls' boys come to take them away, even though Pony Boy wants them to stay. Johnny says that Pony Boy, he wants to die. Pony Boy don't understand and asks him why. He says this because he can't take no more. But Johnny Boy is someone that Pony adores.
When Pony comes home, Derry's upset. Pony Boy causes brothers to fret. Derry slaps Pony on the face, and Pony goes and runs away. Pony goes to the park with Johnny. Then sisters come along, they look real brawny. A sister named David tries to drown Pony. Johnny's eyes are filled with agony. When Pony wakes up, Johnny looks freaked out. What Pony sees when he looks over makes him want to shout. His toast is laying there on the ground, dead. Johnny killed him, so he thinks he's on his deathbed.
They grew up together and are just like brothers. Stick up for one another and fight with each other. They all have greasy hair and are really tough. When they get in a fight, they are rough. They act like family, they undergo tragedy, they all act scrappily, they live unhappily. They need to run away, so they find Dally. He tells them to go to a town in the valley. Hendricksville is the place they have to go. Otherwise they'll get taken in by the po-po. A poem they read says nothing can stay gold. Soon enough things start to unfold. Pony Boy and Johnny cut their hair. Just the sight of it makes Pony want to swear.
Dally comes and takes them to Dairy Queen, 'cause over the past week they become lean. They go to the church and this is what they see. The church is on fire and the boys feel badly. They hear from a guy there are kids in there. The boys go in caring for their welfare. They go and get the kids outside. They have to get out or they might die. They grew up together and are just like brothers. Stick up for one another and fight with each other. They all have greasy hair and are really tough. When they get in a fight, they are rough. They act like family, they undergo tragedy, they all act scrappily, they live unhappily.
Johnny gets burned and has a broken back. When Pony finds out, he almost has a heart attack. He also found out Dally's arm got burned. 'Cause it's severe, Pony is concerned. There's a rumble, Greasers don't know what to do. They have 20 guys, but the sisters have 22. The fight starts, and Dally comes running in. By the end of it, the Greasers win. Dally takes Pony to go see Johnny Cade. When they get there, his life begins to fade. Johnny's last words are, Pony Boy, stay gold. He doesn't understand what he was just told.
They grew up together and are just like brothers. Stick up for one another and fight with each other. They all have greasy hair and are really tough. When they get in a fight, they are rough. They act like family, they undergo tragedy, they all act scrappily, they live unhappily. After Johnny dies, Dally flips his lid. He was upset 'cause Johnny was just a kid. Pony goes home and tells them Johnny died. When they hear the news, they all begin to cry. Dally went and robbed a grocery store, 'cause he doesn't know what he's living for. He goes to the park and pulls out a gun. The cops shoot back and now his life is done.
All of the boys saw it all happening. Pony's vision is blurred and he starts swaying. Pony blacks out and falls to the ground. When Pony wakes up, he doesn't hear a sound. Pony and his brothers go to the court case. When it all goes great, the brothers embrace. Pony goes to school and his grades start to drop. When Derry finds out, he gets on him non-stop. Soda feels he's in the middle of a tug of war. He gets his brothers to agree not to fight anymore. Pony finds a letter Johnny wrote before he died. He explains saying golden what it implied.
Pony sits down to write his semester theme. Up until now, he didn't have a scheme. Pony writes in memory of his friend's glory. He ends up writing his own story.